You bite down hard on the leather strap, tasting sweat and old salt. Your jaw clamps tight, bracing for the inevitable agony. There is no turning back now. Every instinct in your body screams at you to dive for cover. Your eyes dart upward, reflecting the terror of the burning sky. But fear is a luxury you cannot afford. Your post is here, chained to the gun deck's wooden hell. You are wedged between the hull and the iron beast. There is no room to retreat, only to serve. The ship shudders violently as the broadside roars to life. A thunderous explosion tears through the air, deafening and absolute. The world dissolves into fire and smoke. The hull shatters inward, transforming the oak into a deadly storm. Jagged splinters fly through the haze like wooden shrapnel. They seek flesh with terrifying precision. In an instant, the deck becomes a chaotic wooden slaughterhouse. Men lie broken among the ruins, their cries lost in the din. The floor is slick with gore. The blood soaks deep into the grain, staining the planks a dark crimson. It pools rapidly where the powder monkeys once stood. The ship drinks the life of its crew. You are not the swashbuckler from the storybooks or legends. That is a lie sold to fools in port taverns. You are no hero of a golden age. You are merely cannon fodder, grit for the mill of war, a disposable asset in a rich man's quarrel. Your life is worth less than the powder in the kegs. The quartermaster looms over you like a shadow of judgment. He watches the carnage with cold, calculating eyes. Mercy is not in his nature. He offers no rum to steady your shaking hands. The liquid courage is reserved for the officers, not the dying. His fist remains tight and empty. His coat is stiff, crusted with the salt of 1,000 waves. Dark patches of dried blood tell stories of past boardings. It is armor forged from filth. He carries the ghosts of every battle he has survived. The stench of old death clings to him like a second skin. He is a walking monument to violence. The brass buttons have long since lost their shine to the sea air, yet they gleam with the dull weight of absolute command. You obey the coat, not the man. Steel sings a sharp, lethal note as it leaves the sash. The blade captures the flickering light of the burning deck. It is the final judge in this court. The distance closes until you can smell the rust on the steel. Death is no longer abstract. It is inches from your face. There is nowhere left to maneuver. This is no elegant dueling sword for polite society. It is a heavy cleaver designed to hack through bone and gristle. It strikes with brutal, ugly efficiency. It severs hemp rope and muscle with equal indifference. The blade does not distinguish between the rigging and the sailor. Everything breaks under its edge. There is no cinematic moment of glory, only the cold shock. Your face drains of color as the reality sets in. The world simply stops. The pain is not a sensation. It is a blinding flash of white. It overrides every other sense in your brain, a jagged spike of pure agony. The chaos of battle fades into a high-pitched, deafening ring. You clutch your head, but the sound comes from within. You are alone in the silence. You open your mouth to scream, but the sound drowns instantly. Your cry is swallowed whole by the thick, choking smoke. Nobody can hear your plea. The 12-pounders erupt again, shaking the very timbers of the ship. The concussive force punches the air from your lungs. The war continues, ignoring your fall. The horizon is obscured by black powder and burning canvas. This is a sea battle, and you are merely a target. You are just debris in the water. Iron death whistles through the air, flying straight for you. You realize too late that you are the destination. The impact is inevitable. The firing slows, leaving a heavy silence hanging over the deck. Smoke drifts lazily over the groaning heaps of the wounded. The initial fury has passed. From the shadows emerges the carpenter, wiping his hands on an apron. He is the man who mends the ship and the crew. He is the only surgeon you have. He lifts the tool of his trade, heavy, rusted, and jagged. It was designed to cut oak beams, not human limbs. The teeth are set wide and cruel. It is an instrument of terror, casting a long, sharp shadow. The very sight of it sends a fresh wave of nausea through you. This is the true horror. The metal is pitted deep with the corrosion of the sea. Brown flakes of rust cling to the serrated edge. It promises infection with every stroke.
He did not bother to wipe it clean after the last patient. Dark, sticky fluids still coat the metal teeth. The blood of your messmate mixes with yours. Why would he clean it? Sterilization is a fantasy of the future. He shrugs with grim indifference to the dirt. A clean saw cuts no better. The saw bites into your shattered tibia with a gruesome sound. The teeth catch and tear at the skin before hitting bone. He puts us back into the work. The rasp of metal on bone vibrates through the hull planks. It is a sound that sets your teeth on edge. The ship itself seems to shudder. You feel the fight has become unequal and hopeless. You are strapped down, a small, broken thing on a table. Resistance is utterly futile. Your heart hammers against your ribs like a trapped bird. Adrenaline floods your system, sharpening the agony. You are hyper-aware of every second. The ropes dig into your ankles, chafing the skin raw. You thrash against the bonds, but there is nowhere to run. You are anchored to your fate. The world narrows down to the rhythm of the saw. Time slows, stretching seconds into hours in the dim light. Existence is a singular point of pain. Through the haze, you watch dust motes dancing in the gun smoke. They swirl beautifully in the shaft of light. It is a cruel contrast to the butchery. The agony finally overwhelms your screaming nerves. Darkness creeps in from the edges of your vision. You gratefully slip into the void. The table looks less like a medical station, more like a workshop. Hammers, chisels, and saws lie in a bloody heap. This is carpentry, not medicine. The carpenter works with a frantic, practiced speed. He knows that time is blood and you have little left. His hands are a blur of motion. He is not cruel. Speed is his only mercy. A short ordeal is better than a long, drawn-out death. He focuses on the cut. With a wet thud, he tosses your leg into a bucket of tar. It joins the discard pile of the day's violence. You are less than you were. Muffled cheers erupt from the deck above, celebrating a hit. The crew rejoices while you lie dismembered below. The victory belongs to them. The iron glows a menacing cherry red in the gloom. Heat radiates from it, scorching you before it even touches. He sears you up to stop the flow. You wake up broken, but breathing, wrapped in filthy rags. You have held out and survived the battle, but the war is far from over. But at night, the real betrayal occurs in the dark. The adrenaline fades, leaving you defenseless. The true enemy creeps in. You wake up in the hammock, swaying gently in the damp. The beams above are oppressive, pressing down on you. It feels like a coffin. It is crowded, with men swaying inches apart in the gloom. You can feel the fever heat from your neighbor. There is no personal space here. The air is heavy, thick with the stench of stagnant bilge water. It tastes foul on your tongue, a poisonous vapor. You breathe in the rot. The enemy has arrived, but you cannot see him. There is no soldier to fight, no sword to parry. It hides in the shadows of the hold. He is dietary, born from the barrel and the biscuit. The food is dry, lifeless, and riddled with weevils. You eat dust and decay. You are surrounded by fear in the cramped darkness. You look at the faces around you, searching for signs. Everyone is a potential victim. Now it's not a battle, it's a slow, agonizing decay. Your skin turns pale and bruises at the slightest touch. You are fading away. Your gums begin to throb and swell, turning black. They bleed at the touch of your tongue. Eating becomes a torture. It's not healing, it's dissolving from the inside out. Old wounds reopen as your body forgets how to bind itself. You are unmaking yourself. You stare at your hands, trembling and weak. The realization hits you cold. You might die today. The hero's death is a lie. The scurvy starts, a rot that begins in the marrow. You feel hollow, brittle, and incredibly heavy. Your bones feel like foreign objects. Your lips are cracked parchment, pleading for moisture. You ask for water in a rasping whisper. Thirst burns hotter than the fever.
The cabin boy brings it, eyes wide with fear. He holds the ladle out like a weapon, keeping his distance. He doesn't want your bad luck. The ladle is shared by 40 other dying men. The wood is chewed and stained dark with use. You drink their sickness with the water. You drink greedily, not knowing it is slime. The water is green, thick with algae and filth. It smells of the cask and the rats. You wait for the captain, the heavy door creaking open. His silhouette frames him as a visitor from another world. He has come to inspect.
He arrives in the morning, looking infuriatingly healthy. His uniform is clean, his belly full of good meat. He stands apart from the suffering. He does not share the fresh fruit that could save you. The cure sits in his cabin, a luxury for the officers. He hoards the essence of life. He probes your black spots with a gloved finger. There is no sympathy in his touch, only clinical curiosity. You are just inventory. He calls the lethargy bad blood and waves a hand. He dismisses your condition as laziness or weakness. It is easier to blame the men. You sink back into the soiled hammock, energy spent. You know it's the end of the line. The fight leaves your eyes. You are one speck against the vast, indifferent ocean. The ship is a splinter in an abyss of dark water. There is no help coming. The lack of vitamin C is destroying your veins. They collapse into black spiderwebs under your skin. The map of your life is fading. You try to fight the delirium clawing at your mind. Shadows detach themselves and begin to move. The monsters have come for you. You hallucinate green fields and open sky. The air smells of sweet grass and rain, not bilge. It is a beautiful, cruel lie. Historians will write, he died of flux. A clerk will write the word in fading ink. Your existence is reduced to paperwork. You rot alive like driftwood washed ashore, useless, discarded, and consumed by the elements. You return to the earth before you die. You see the man in the next hammock die. His hand drops limp, silent, and cold. The man you shared bread with is gone. His skin is turned gray by starvation and sickness. His face is a mask of clay, cheeks sunken in. This is the face of your future. The king of the sea is here, patient and cold. He demands his tithe from the crew. He is the only monarch who rules here. The most brutal fight for your breath begins now. Your chest heaves, fighting for every scrap of air. The fluid in your lungs gurgles. You gasp for air, mouth wide like a fish on the deck. Panic flares one last time in your glazing eyes. The air is too thin. Suddenly, the pain recedes like the tide going out. The noise of the ship fades into a profound silence. The struggle is finally over. You look up at the damp, dark wood above. It is the last thing you will ever see. The world narrows to a single plank. It's not the sky, it's the prison of the ship. The beams blur, transforming into the bars of a cell. You are never free. The failure has reached your heart. The drum in your chest beats one final, sluggish time. The engine of your life seizes. The Caribbean sun burns above, unaware. You are a ghost of the golden age. History will move on without you. You do not feel pain anymore. The darkness is a comforting blanket, heavy and soft. You are finally at peace. The boatswain comes to take your body. He lifts your shell with the indifference of a sanitation worker. You are just weight now. He sews the last stitch through your nose. It is the sailor's test, but you do not flinch. The canvas shroud is your final uniform. You end up over the rail, a bundle for the sharks. Gravity takes you down to the waiting deep. The predators begin to circle. The sea devoured you, erasing your existence. Bubbles rise to the surface and pop. The ocean has swallowed you whole.